Okay, let's see what we have here. This is interesting. This guy's got 3.7 thousand subscribers. The algorithm has found us a dude named Havoc, and the title is How Exploration in Star Citizen Could Be Amazing. Okay, let's check it out. I'm sure I have a lot to say.
There are many ideas on how CIG could make exploration in Star Citizen amazing, and it's one of the most exciting gameplay loops that many of us are eagerly awaiting. If CIG adds the right level of depth and complexity, this could be one of the more popular pieces of gameplay. And after researching as much as I could find about exploration, it paints a pretty good picture of what we may see. So what might exploration actually look like in the future? In today's video, we'll discuss all about exploration and introduce what I believe could take it to the next level and make it truly incredible. And as some of this is speculation, take this with a grain of salt. If you love Star Citizen and enjoy this type of content, smash that like button and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments on what you think exploration.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna share my thoughts, dude. Don't worry about that. I have no problem with that. 64%, I believe 64, 67% of people upon the beginning work and those people that supported this title after stretch goals, after we realized it was going to be more than the single player Squadron 42, after the fans voted with their pocketbooks and said, we want more. Okay. A lot of people are misunderstanding the narrative, thinking that we were duped or tricked into going to the PU from Squadron 42. Like they were saying, oh, we need this amount of money to do this. We need this amount of money to do this. No, that's not how it was. We literally were like, we want this, we want this, we want this, we want this. And then they were like, okay, well, I guess we're going to need the money for this to make what it is that you want. And that's how the stretch goals came about. I believe I could be wrong, 2013-ish, somewhere thereabouts, a give or take year or so. Once we got to the point where we said yes on everything and we want the everything game, they did a poll. And I think it was in Germany. And when they pulled at an event in Germany to the Star Citizens that were involved in that, 67% of them said that they wanted to be explorers. 67% of them said they want exploration in the game. So this is a very important aspect to Star Citizen. To most MMOs, really, exploration is actually super important. Having cool places to go and cool things to do in those places is number one usually in an MMO. So let's keep going.
Exploration should look like. Your engagement with the channel helps us gauge your interest in all things Star Citizen. And if you love to discuss the game's future, news and updates that are clear and concise, and enjoy seeing all of the great sim gear and peripherals on the market, then you should consider supporting the channel by clicking the subscribe button so you stay informed on everything going on. Let's reach the goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of
Okay, we'll help you. We will help you and bring up your numbers, Havoc. Let's just get going. Giddy up.
the year.
We're going to help this guy. If we like this, we're going to help him.
Imagine a vast, uncharted planetary system waiting to be explored. Each planet is complete with hundreds of points of interest that have resources, alien and animal life, friendly and enemy NPCs, ships traveling to and from different locations, rare and unique armor, weapons, and many other items that you can loot, cargo containers you can take, and the potential for so much more. In Star Citizen, there are tons of locations already where you'll find many of these, and you're able to travel to each one of them seamlessly without any loading screen. Even Stanton is vast when you really begin to explore all it has to offer. However, the biggest problem right now is while there are tons of points of interest to explore, many of them are not marked and are hard to find. This forces players to visually scour a planet for all of these locations, or look up the locations on a third-party website and follow precise instructions to find them. This creates a very disjointed and even challenging situation that some players may not even bother with. And believe me when I say that many of these locations are pretty cool to explore and unique in many different ways. But what could be added in the future to create deeper and more meaningful exploration?
That's good. Okay.
Scanning and pinging are deeply rooted in Star Citizen. However, there are still many improvements and additions that could be made to further increase its depth and enhance exploration in the future. As we already know, scanning is going to be pivotal to exploration and will allow players to find resources, ships, and much more. Long-range scanning in the future will more than likely utilize drones as probes that can be sent out into deep space to passively scan specific areas and report very basic information back to your ship. Imagine that you're on board your Carrack with a group of your friends and you just got into a new system by traveling through a jump point. And you're part of a survey team for your org that's looking for a great location to send a mining team to gather resources to build your new base on a nearby moon. You fire several probes to quantum out to different locations throughout the system, and the drones begin scanning for dense asteroid fields. You gather your team and meet in the cartography room to look at the data. You and your team just found a massive asteroid field only 3 gigameters away from where your base will be. So you head to the bridge, mark the area on your ship's star map to save the location, and then quantum to the probe to scan the location using your more powerful ship sensors. Now there are tons of other things that we could possibly scan for in the future to find signals from anomalies such as dead planets, quasars, pulsars, asteroid fields, and human activity such as ships passing by, NPC and player bases, and settlements or even larger battles between factions. Initially, these deep space scans can find small and large ships, where it may only find 1 or 2, but upon more deeper scans or visiting location with your ships to use your powerful scanners, you can end up finding many more ships. These could be soft-deathed, completely destroyed, or even fully active ships crewed by players and NPCs. Scanning could also be further enhanced.
Here's the thing now in game, in the alpha, in the PU, we don't really have a lot of people doing what should be done because a lot of the game mechanics are broken. You know, there's aspects to mining that are broken. And, you know, this is all kind of a theory craft. He's going for a theory craft thing, and I understand that, and I respect that because I did theory craft before there was even gameplay, before there was even a game. We are farther along right now, okay? However, he's not wrong. You know, when you're... Oh, my goodness. What's up, Let's Go? Thank you, dude. Thank you for that. By the way, Woodsy, Hugh, and Let's Go. Thanks for the support on the live stream, bros. I appreciate all of you. Okay, so this dude's not wrong in the fact that in an MMO, dynamic events should be happening. And how do dynamic events happen? Usually greed. What's up? Thanks, Woodsy, again. I appreciate you, man. Kuwatu hands. And dynamic events happened by the player base and places that have lots of goodies and roids, them delicious roids. That doesn't sound right, does it, Pepe? They should be, you know, in certain spots filled with goodness, and those places will be eventually just hotspots, and they will be varied on the type of roids and minerals that you get based on the system security. We only have one system, and we only have a few roid fields, and mining's a little bit borked out in the roid fields. So it's not really that hot right now. It's not really that dynamic, but it will be in the future. So that in itself, that gameplay, do you guys, again, I'm going to use an EVE Online analogy, but I remember mining, I think I had an Orca, a large barge, mining all day long song with a mining crew. And, you know, it was just like click and mine, but we like hung out. We did like mining events. We like had like 2-hour mine fests where we go out in nullsec or we go out in different areas of EVE and just sit and drink and laugh and talk. And we have some security dudes around us. And then if it got hot, we got the hell out because we were in our barges. And I came back with my PvP ship. And I got everybody that was an industrial out of there. And then there was a firefight. And then we brought the miners back in. And that's dynamic play. That's the dynamic play that will eventually be in the game. But it is not now because of where we are at. Because we're all waiting for dynamic server meshing for these dynamic events. They're not necessarily related because they have dynamic in their names. Okay. But it will help because it will bring more people in and it will make areas in the future hotspots that will be fun to go to and dangerous and a game loop. And it won't involve the contracts at all. It won't involve missioning at all. And you know what? Frankly, that's my favorite type of gameplay as an industrialist. I'm not a big PvE grind mission guy. I recently started doing missions again just to review how these missions went, and 50% of those experiences were bugged and not a great experience. And I say raise those rewards. Okay, I talked about that last week. Raise those rewards. Yes, just raise them. I went through that research for you. Like, because I was like, okay, it's been a while since I've done this. Let me do this for 3-4 days in a row, and let me just grind fest and see what's going on here. All the missions generally were borked, and there was something wrong with each one. And I talked about how Elliot needs to go in there and just pitch out the missions that don't work. And I don't care if there's only 2 or 3 missions left, but get the ones that are good down and pull out the faulty ones and work on them. Okay, Elliot, I love you, bro. You're doing good work. Just let's step it up right there. I think that's what needs to happen with PvE. My favorite type of gaming is these hot spots. These spots, these areas where you can make those credits without having to push accept on a mission, where you're just prepping with a team of human players and you're going out and you're like, okay, this shit's going to be dangerous. This is going to be a blast. That's my kind of fun. That's where I like to make my credits at. And I think that's where you can make the most profit at. And I try and tell people that when they're playing this, because a lot of people just like space truck point A to point B. Listen, if you want to be a space trucker, you want to do that, then by all means do it. If you want more margin, if you want more profit, eventually this type of gameplay he's talking about is going to be really hot. To me, that's the hotness. That's the fun. The danger brings the profit.
To show if a ship is broken up or intact by using a unique system that utilizes EM, IR, and cross-section signals that we currently have, but could also introduce signals like gamma radiation,
just put in the Discord,
X-ray,
fellas.
and even ultraviolet radiation.
Tomorrow if I don't
For
have
long-range scanning,
tonight.
I hope one day we could have gameplay where we have to fine-tune our sensors to the waveform of the signal being received to further allow us to hone in on the approximate location. This could allow for more emergent gameplay and things to randomly happen from scanning these points of interest. You could find things such as ship combat in the area, cosmic anomalies such as black holes, comets, and unique mining locations and resources, relics, derelict ships, or even hacking data locations, and more. In many ways, mid-range scanning could allow for further scouting of areas within quantum boost range, where we could quickly travel to, and will probably be used for scanning between the 10,000 to 200,000 kilometer range. This would be where we really begin to find cosmic anomalies and signals as described previously, and would enable us to find general areas that are more dense and have different types of signals where we can get a general idea of what may be at these locations. For example, our mid-range scans could show different categories, such as if something is man-made, such as a ship, something naturally occurring like asteroids, a cosmic object like a nebula, or an anomaly that is unable to be categorized. Now, as we return to our Carrack, we finally reach the region where our probe is located, and begin scanning the area with its more powerful scanners that we upgraded after many painstaking hours of working to earn enough credits to buy the best on the market. We find an area of the asteroid field that is the densest part, and shows signs of the metals we're looking for, and so we quantum boost to the location 176,000 kilometers away, which puts us at the center of the asteroid field where we can finally begin searching for the more specific resources we need to mine. While there isn't any current way for us to engage in deep space exploration or mid-range scanning where we can explore the general vicinity of a planet's gravitational field, there are signs that we can see a lot of this beginning to take place behind the scenes, with quantum boost potentially being added in 4.0, and the star map allowing us to mark locations and potentially sell these markers to other players one day. These features would begin to add a lot to exploration and are essential to get right for more meaningful gameplay.
I like what Starlet just said. She said, what amazes me is that there are so many people out there that want to invent a space game. It's incredible, ready, and says something about our sci-fi history and culture. 10,000 different ideas about what SC should be, dude. Sci-fi gamers, sci-fi fans are fascinating. I love sci-fi, and some of the most intelligent people are sci-fi fans, and they will let you know what they want. We know that because we've been following this so long. I'm an Expanse fan. I used to be a Star Wars fan. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing with Acolyte. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the Star Wars talk. Okay. But like, I am big into sci-fi. All right. Ever since I was a child, man, sci-fi, nothing else. I love fantasy as well. That's why I get into D&D too. But Sci-fi fans will tell you what they want. And here's the thing. A lot of them have different ideas, right? But there's always like core themes. And exploration is such a huge factor. I think if you really want to be a successful MMO, you exploration has to be done just right. Has to be. Oh, don't
In
get
its
me
current
started.
state, Star Citizen has a decent short-range scanning and pinging system. While more refinements and additions could be made, there's room for robust changes to add more depth and increase engagement so players will want to do more short-range scanning. Active radar should definitely give us the ability to scan for ships past our normal targeting range. For example, we could see a couple of capital ships out in the distance, which would then drive us to scan the ships to see what other ships may be close by that are potentially providing escort. This would also allow players to recon the areas before they're intercepted so they can quantum boost away if the need arises. As we close in on the dense part of the asteroid field on board the Carrack, we begin actively scanning the nearby asteroids and finally find an abundance of the resources we're looking for, with many of the asteroids being rich in titanium, tungsten, lithium, silicon, and uranium. You give the order to the pilot to turn on your ship's beacon, tuned for your org's unique frequency, and call in the miners of your organization, and they drop out of quantum travel within 5 clicks of your ship. From there, they all disperse in different locations and begin gathering resources for your future base. Just as you're about to head out to your next location, you activate your scanner one last time to ping for other nearby objects, and as you do, you catch a glimpse of a metallic signal on your sensors. You fly closer to the object, and finally find a derelict caterpillar. So your crew scans for life signs, and finds none. You head to the airlock, grab your suit, helmet, and weapons with another player, and set off into the void to investigate the wreckage. As you hack the door to the ship, you notice a ton of bullet holes in the side of the ship, and conclude that the ship was more than likely attacked by a pirate trying to make a name for himself. But as you investigate further, you find that he failed to scan the ship after confirming his kill, and tons of expensive components and equipment were left on board.
And you can populate the entire solar system. You can do this right now. You could actually train people for long system scanning through the investigation missions. But the investigation missions are absolutely horrible, filled with physics problems like you cannot believe, that are just, they need to be revamped. All the investigation missions need to kind of just be consolidated and rethought and revamped. And finding these missions shouldn't just be through the mission board. They should be done through long-range scanning so that you can find points of interest, and they should be slightly better rewards. Actually, a lot better rewards. My 2 cents.
You search through the rest of the ship and finally make it to the bridge. You find a glowing green object in one of the bunks. You just found a legendary artifact that the locals on the nearby moon had been talking about for the last few days. And it was worth a ship full of credits. This was now you and your crew's biggest payday that would skyrocket you into fame and fortune. While these are some of the few ideas.
Yeah, Backspace says basics. Mining needs to be fun. Salvage needs to be fun. Combat needs to be fun. Flying needs to be fun. Challenge is fun. Fun is fun, and you know it when you're playing it. Right, Backspace. Amen to you, buddy. Fun also involves stability, and that stability just isn't there right now. So like, we all just got to take a breath, and it's just not there right now. We need the stability in order for it to be a better experience, man. You know, the other thing that it needs to be besides fun is it needs to work.
Yes, you're not gonna hate me.
of how exploration could be made to be an engaging gameplay loop, it wouldn't be complete without being able to mark and sell locations you find to other players or orgs. Or even be a scumbag and sell to 2 orgs, sparking a battle to happen over something like an ultra-rare asteroid node that has legendary resources and enabling you to engage in quote-unquote legitimate salvage.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to be able to get through all this. It's not because I don't like the video. I understand what this guy is doing, but this is all very much getting me frustrated because it's not currently in the alpha. It's an alpha. It's been 12 years. We've been fighting for these things forever. I think this channel in 2014 and 2015 I was talking about this 10 years ago on the channel. Fact check me. Go back. The channel was nonstop Star Citizen theory crafting. I legit was talking about this about 9 years ago. 8 to 9 years ago, I was making videos just like this, okay? So trust me, I know about this. This is things we've talked about in the past that we definitely need in the game, right? Why isn't it in the game yet? I'm going to tell you why. What Cloud Imperium is trying to do has not been done before. If people are going to look at that and take me out of context and think I'm some type of white knight when I'm saying that, go ahead and run with that. Have fun clipping the shit out of that. Those people don't truly understand the scope. The reason why the game has brought in 700 million from the fan base, purely from the fan base, is because they understand the scope. You have fans that are pledging, that understand what this game wants to be, more than the content creators spitting out narratives and monetizing people into not believing in dreaming. Like, dreaming is a bad thing now. You cannot dream, you know, just shut it all down. You can't dream. Like, just close up shop. It's not important anymore. Just everybody put the cover over your head and just sleep it all away until all you see left is black. and you're not waking up ever again. That's the narrative I see a lot, until something comes that actually gets accomplished, and then they wake up, they pull the covers off and go, "Ooh, it's time to monetize the positive stuff. Let's monetize the positive stuff." Woo, 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 woo. And then a month or two later, when people forget about how amazing it was that they got this tech in the game, they go back, they put the covers over their head, and the sky is falling again. Stop dreaming again. It's rinse, wash, repeat with these motherfuckers. And I'm not saying this guy's theory crafting. And the reason I like what this guy is doing is because I was doing it 10 years ago here on this channel, and I respect people that are trying to put this type of content out there because they're passionate about the project. Okay? Why don't we have these in the game yet? Because of the promises, because of the scope of this game, and because what it is that we are waiting on is dynamic server meshing to take care of all of this terrible stability that we've got currently, to get rid of this latency that we're having, the issues that we're having with AI and everything that we're seeing when we're playing the game, and the bugginess and the terrible experiences that we're having waiting on the Holy Grail server meshing. And why I say the priority really should be top of the list, dynamic server meshing. And we need it ASAP. And when it comes into the game, it's going to be messy, and it's still going to take us some time because of the scope. Okay, and really, I'm not breathing right now. Starlet says breathe, DG, breathe. I'm not, because I feel I'm not breathing at all. What? I am this passionate and pushing this out here, this voice out here, because I don't hear it. I am not hearing any of these content creators talking about this. None of them. I don't hear any of the content creators talking about that there is no other developer out there trying to do this. Not one. Name me one developer that is trying to do this, and I will cover it, and I will talk about it. The closest that I can find is a game called Star Atlas, and then everybody rolls their eyes because it's involved with Web3 gaming and crypto. I get it. I'm actually very much interested in the space. I get that there's gamers that aren't, and I understand why they don't. But as a trader and a gamer, I'm into it. I want to see where it goes. If it goes kaput, that's what happens. But I don't see any other title. I don't see any other developer trying to do this. And I don't hear any other content creator talking about this at all. I hear none. I don't hear one content creator. What's up, expat Brad? I love you. She's awesome. 159 viewers coming over here while I'm in the middle of a rant. What's up, expat Brad? So nice to see you here. The diva of amazing. My favorite clips are watching Expat Brat when she's in a movie moment and she's like singing. She makes every moment amazing. It's breathtakingly amazing. The amount of drama that you build up when you stream is fantastic. And by the way, for everybody coming in from Expat Brad's stream, I do have a 10-minute filter on talking and typing. I'm so sorry that you have to wait. Most of you won't. And the problem is that I'm fundamentally unlikable. There are many people that hate me and say mean things about me. And so I just let people simmer in their hate for 10 minutes. And then eventually we'll find out if people like me or if the hate spills out into the chat. So there is a 10-minute timer. Expat Brat, absolutely love you. All the people joining right now, thank you for being here. We're talking about the scope of Star Citizen. We're talking about that we don't see content creators talk about the fact that the scope is large and this is why it's taking a long time. And we're talking about the nuances of how we're here right now. We're talking about dynamic server meshing. And we're talking about how there's not one other developer trying to do what it is that COD Imperium is doing. So welcome. And we are also getting off of this dude's video because right now it's theory crafting. I did it 8-9 years ago. I was talking about the same thing. But if you dig this dude and you dig the fact that this guy's passionate, you know, go over to his channel, check it out. His name is Havoc. We like to help out smaller YouTube content creators, and just go over there, subscribe to this dude. I thought, you know, the guy's bringing up great things about scanning. Very cool. And let's get to the next video.